This is Three Dog.
How can I help?
This is VGS, the only show where you can sit back, relax, and enter the world of video games. VGS. Introducing your intrepid host, the brutally honest David Spargella.
As you of all people should know, there's plenty wrong with me.
And the mind and beard behind all things, Andy Borkowski.
I am a biotic dog. Fear me, lesser creatures.
Listen, contribute, and have your say. VGS.
We should probably get going on the show, huh? Because we're going to run out of time if we don't.
Begins now.
Andy Borkowski here, VGS Talk Radio AM 640, joined as always by Mr. David Spargella.
Good evening.
My other half, the better half.
Yes.
So you accept my other half if you are the better half.
The better half.
This is VGS, of course, the show where we talk about video games. We convince everyone at this radio station that we should have a show on video games. They haven't gotten rid of us yet.
No, and we're not insane.
We're
just
not insane.
Millennials that love games.
There we go.
We're not, well, we love Pac-Man, but...
We're dutifully employed. Yes. At least one of us is.
For now.
David Spargella. Big changes coming. So, of course, this week on VGS... there is a lot of big things happening. Number one is the event Gamescom that's happening in Europe. It's basically the E3 of Europe for all the Europeans that don't want to go to LA. So there is some news coming out of that. Namely, a lot of new release dates on games, a lot of new games being unveiled. We're talking the Stick of Truth. Oh, not Stick of Truth. What's the game called?
The Fractured Butthole.
One more time?
The Fractured Butt.
Okay.
Space Hole.
Okay, just very important to say that. It's a South Park game, of all things. We're going to talk about that in News of the Week, and a little game called Metal Gear Survive that some of the interns here unwarrantedly are getting very upset about. We'll introduce them in a second. They've been waiting all day to speak. And yeah, the other big thing, of course, we're going to talk about the big game that's coming out this Tuesday, Deus Ex Mankind Divided. I had a chance to speak with Jean-Francois, the game director out there in Montreal. That is his name, Jean-Francois. And it was great. We talked a lot about what the game's all about. And it kind of led us to the theme of this week's show, remakes. Games that, as you might think from the title, that are remade from their original greatness to something even better. And there's a lot of games that do that. What do you think is one of your favorite
remake lately?
Yeah. Or just when you look back and be like, man, I'm so glad that I picked this up.
Oh, the Halo Master Chief Collection.
Really?
For sure.
Get tactical, Marines!
Yeah, and that was the one that had 1,000 different games in it. You could choose what levels to play.
They went all out on that game, and I'm really happy. Normally, these remasters just, let's just improve the graphics a little bit. But these guys, you could go back and play the crappy Xbox graphics.
Just by pressing a button,
yes,
right?
I think it was select. Yeah, you can switch
press
back.
select, and you're back to 1999. Think so? I want to go that?
Early 2000s.
2001. For mine, it's a little more recent. It was the one that we were talking about off air, The Last of Us Remastered.
Really? Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, see, the reason I like that is simply because I got a PS4, and when it first came out, I didn't really have any games for it. And one of the first games was The Last of Us Remastered, and I must have clocked in close to 1,000 hours of multiplayer.
1,000 hours.
1,000 hours.
Oh my
Think
God.
of all the math I could know. But I don't. So we're talking remasters this week because there's been some pretty big news. Some big remasters are coming out. I think it's time we introduce the rest of the class. We have a bunch of interns here. They're going to be filtering in and out as I see fit. Starting with Tom. He's sitting on a smaller chair than normal. How you doing, Tom?
I'm not bad. I'm not bad at all.
Great.
A little shorter than normal, as you mentioned.
You are. And what will you be talking about today?
Me and Anton, who will be introduced next, are going to be talking a little bit about some games that deserve remakes that haven't gotten one yet.
Okay, so you're coming in, bringing us remake strength. We're going to skip Anton and go to Richard, another intern. You've heard him here on the show a few times. Richard.
Yes.
How will you be a pain in my ass today?
However you'd like me to be.
Okay. We got to cut his mic there. We got no more Richard. And
so many ways.
Unfortunately, we almost missed out on Anton. You know, he has had a really long nap.
Really? Really, guys?
So just let it come in. What is that, guys? Well, this is a video game show.
I'm gonna laugh until I'm sick.
Okay.
It's a big intro.
It's got the intro.
Just go talk over it.
Well,
just give us the rundown.
Anton, who's an intern here, a valued intern,
Heyo.
has had some medical issues recently. We thought it wasn't serious, but it actually was. He was in a coma for a few days, a real coma. So Dave and I thought, what would be the funniest way to talk about his serious medical condition? And we decided
we're not making fun.
No.
But this is so appropriate.
Let's hear.
Really, guys? Come on.
All right, okay, all right. Let's cut it down a little bit. Anton, first of all, you forgive us, right? There's no issue here. Okay.
Okay, let's make that clear. You forgive us.
No,
You've done nothing
I'm
wrong.
out. Sorry, guys.
No, say the truth, damn it.
Yeah, I forgive you guys. It's
Okay.
all right.
All right. But how are you doing, man? Are you okay?
I'm at like 80%.
Yeah.
You know, I'm pushing through, but hey, I'm here.
You're
know.
here.
Yeah.
But we're actually telling the truth. He did have like a coma scare.
Yeah.
We're
glad you're okay, man.
He wasn't scared of a coma. You were in a coma.
Yeah, I was actually in a coma for 3 days. 3 days. And the first thing I did was try to get on my bed and fall flat on my face. So, I don't know.
And now he's here, folks. Round of applause for Coma Anton. Anton Coma? Comatose Ton? We'll think of a name. We'll think of a name. Comaton! So good.
Sounds like a Jedi.
All right, Comaton, thank you so much. You'll be here. What are you doing this week with us?
Well, I will be with Tom on, letting everyone know what we want as remakes for video games. So
you guys have picked like some of the best, and we've given them that honor, that right. Liam is also here taking notes. He'll be joining Richard. He doesn't have a mic in front of him, but he's an intern, so it doesn't matter.
Gotta give credit
of
to
course.
Liam for bringing the Evanescence.
Yes.
It wasn't my idea.
That was his call. All right, we got to take a quick break. We spent way too much time talking about comas. This is VGS Talk Radio.
AM 640.
This is VGS with Andy and Dave on Talk Radio, AM 640.
Andy here. We lost some of the interns. I think they fell off their chairs. Anton had another nap. No, he's well. He's fine. He's okay. VGS, talking about video games. This week, it's all about remakes and, of course, the events at Gamescom. Did you check out any of the Gamescom stuff?
Did you go to Gamescom?
Did you go to in Cologne?
In Cologne, Germany?
Germany, yes. Not.
No.
No.
No, I didn't go.
This wasn't even a
next year.
question, but you went with it.
No, I didn't check out any of the games. I wait for you to tell me these things.
That's-
Because, I mean, like, there's too many things to keep track of. I don't care.
You do co-host a video game show, though.
Co-host is, like,
It's a strong word.
very strong.
No, you press all the buttons. You come in with the rat-a-tat that makes it work. But I think some of the biggest stuff that happened at Gamescom has more to do with the new South Park game, which I'm very, very excited about, and the Metal Gear game, which on the break, me and the interns were screaming at each other about. And you'll get to hear that screaming later in the show as well. If you do want to contribute, make sure you head to our website, 640toronto.com/VGS. Send us your info. We can maybe get you on the air, talk about video games. We always like to have more voices talking about the games they love.
Tweet us, too, at VGS_640s.
That's how it works.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. No, the games, the biggest remakes, though. What was your favorite again? I forgot.
Oh, it was the Halo one.
The Halo one,
Master Chief
yeah.
Collection.
That was incredible.
Yeah, like I said, they went all out, and it was worth the money. I feel like I got my money's worth, which is always
Oh,
great.
no, that one, was it full price, too?
Yeah, I don't know how much.
But you got like 5 or 6 games with it or something insane.
and then they gave you what was it, ODST for free, basically, and I think Reach too. I think Reach was included somewhere in there,
Yeah.
but again, great remaster. I feel like I got my money.
And if you're confused between remaster and definitive edition,
yes, what the hell does that mean?
we have kind of decided here that it's pretty much the same thing.
Okay, and,
Yeah.
And
That
what's
it's-
Game of the Year edition?
Game of the Year edition is
everything.
The definitive edition, I think they take a definitive edition. See, this is how they make money off of us.
Define definitive.
Let's define definitive. It's when a game came out from a previous console or had a lower graphical range, and they have a definitive edition because it was maybe like a year ago or 2 years ago. And it was on the PS3, but they want you to get it for the PS4.
So wouldn't that be the Last of Us Definitive Edition?
Fair enough. I guess they named that.
We don't know. They're exact same thing.
They are. That's the whole point. They're exactly the same thing. They're old games that you love, but I think a remaster is more when they take a game that had the graphics of like 1991 and made it look like 2016 graphics. They're going to, of course, do that with Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy VII is coming out. That's a huge, huge remake that'll be out later this year. Final Fantasy 15 got pushed back, the release date.
Oh, there's so many Final Fantasies.
There are a lot. Well, there's 15.
How many Final Fantasies can you have?
Well, the fantasy is never final.
When do you think it's going to end?
When we die. Speaking of which, news of the week, Shaggy Dave.
This week in gaming.
I've got to do the
Metal Gear fans have a reason to be salty again. Konami is releasing a Metal Gear spin-off focusing on co-op zombie survival. The announcement has been hated by the collective internet, not only because zombie games are done to death, but fans believe this is a Resident Evil flavored blight on the series. For better or for worse, we won't know until the game's release.
They played us like a damn fiddle!
EA is reversing their opinion on remastering games and have hinted at remaking the Mass Effect series for current consoles. Beloved games like Marvel Ultimate Alliance have had shoddy ports, so while we're wary, we can't be more happy about smooching our favorite Bluebird man again. Fans of South Park and Marvel can get the crossover they've been waiting for, complete with sounds and smells. The Gamescom presentation featured some story content and a fight between the player and some burglars to show off the combat system, and players can try a special demo that uses the Nausealess Rift, a VR smell device that presents farts in high quality. There is no news on other features, such as the option to play as a female character, but we should hope to see that in upcoming trailers and press releases.
It's Boris' password. He plays word games. It's what I sit on, but I don't take it with me.
Chair. I'll be sitting in one of those for quite some time. The greatest N64 game of all time has been recreated and ready to play online. That game is GoldenEye. Using Valve's Source engine, GoldenEye Source has all the maps from the original game. You're able to play against bots, not just other people, and you can be Oddjob. You're an idiot if you are. The game is available for PC, and it's free. On behalf of every GoldenEye fan, thank you.
It was the least I could do for a friend.
Amazing. God, it's nice to hear that again. Big ups, of course, to one of our interns that told us Final Fantasy, the reason they called it Final Fantasy is Squaresoft named it Final Fantasy because it was supposed to be their final game before they went bankrupt, and then they made like 25 others.
So now it's just be called Fantasy.
It's just what it's called. You know, Star Wars was actually... No,
we don't have time for this.
All right. Yeah, we got to take a quick break. We'll be right back, talk more about remakes, some of our favorites, and of course, I'm going to yell at the interns all about Metal Gear right after this.
Now back to Video Game Sophistry with Andy and Dave on Talk Radio, AM 640.
Back here on VGS, talking remakes, talking Deus Ex Mankind Divided. Got an interview with Jean-Francois, not Jean Francis, as some of the people here said. He's the game director for Montreal, talking all about his new game, and it's probably one of the biggest games of the summer, so very excited to talk to him all about that. You got to wait for that, though. We are going to dive into the world of remakes now. We're joined by a couple of interns. We filtered out 4 of them, brought back in 2. Like sheeps to the slaughter, we have Thomas. He is the one that was not in a coma. And Anton, the one who was in a coma.
Oh.
That's after the
poor guy. Okay,
after the coma, this is all he can say.
That's enough.
Yeah, it's enough. So
I love Anton. So
we all do. We all do. Come on. So remakes. There are some really great remakes that are coming out or maybe just came out. Just to name a few, the BioShock collection will be here really soon.
Comes a couple days before my birthday.
Does it really? Yes. Oh my god.
Happy birthday.
Oh my goodness.
Happy early B-Day.
Early B-Day for me, friend. Do you see the trailer for it?
I don't need to.
No, but the whole point is it shows how great it looks now, and it kind of just looks like a PC version. That's a lot of fun, but it does. Do you think you'll pick it up?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you remember playing Bioshock Infinite. It was kind of glitchy.
Yeah.
It looked. So I'm looking forward to see what they're going to do with.
What about Bioshock 1 though? Like that's more what
2007, right?
That's what I'm more excited about to see what that looks like and to go through that again.
Okay, remember when you obviously remember you love those games.
I do.
But you're walking and the water's just dripping on your face too, right? Now see what they're going to do with that. I think that's pretty cute.
Let's see that. What else have they got? There's a big one that's coming out for you that you adore.
Yeah, Arkham.
The release date they pushed that back.
Good.
Though.
Because it looked terrible.
And what's that? What's the collection?
They're
of that?
remastering Arkham City and Arkham Asylum, the first two games.
And we actually got some news of another one, Assassin's Creed, the Ezio collection. The Ezio. Apparently, on a Korean website, they saw something.
Why is it always these random, like Netherlands, Korea?
Well, it's because people don't do their jobs right.
Italy.
And they break the law and the rules, rather, and then the rest of the world finds out. But I would love to play those games again.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun. I didn't get past Revelations though.
No, it's because Assassin's Creed 2 Brotherhood was incredible.
No, that's 3. No, sorry. Assassin's Creed 2 is 2, but Brotherhood's like I guess 3. And
Whatever.
Then 4.
All right, I'm tired of your lies. And of course we have what you're excited for, COD 4 Remastered.
Oh, of course.
Coming out. You were crazy about that. You keep talking about it.
Can't wait.
I can't handle it.
I'm so happy they're including Infinite Warfare with it.
Hilarious joke. The only other big one that you mentioned in News of the Week was the possibility of a Mass Effect collection.
It's been rumored forever. We know it's going to happen. Just do it.
I think that they kind of... What would they need to do to make that work, though?
Oh, God. The first one is brutal.
It is brutal.
It
that's
is the
what I mean.
laggiest thing I've ever played in my life.
There's a lot of jumping of textures. But do you want, like, just... Because I love Mass Effect... do you think they just need some new paint on it and it'll work? Just a graphical upgrade?
Yeah, I think so.
That's all they need.
Get a new engine.
Yeah.
Right? Damn it. Everybody's talking about new engines. Do it.
Well, yeah, I think they would have to do it. Like, I don't know. I hope that it would be a real, true remake where they apply a new engine, make it all look pretty. I'd love to play some of the multiplayer of 3 again, which I actually really enjoyed. And to make it like just to sit down for like a week and go through all those games on a new console.
So it's remastered and include all the DLC too.
Oh,
my
so
God.
much. There's so much though.
Oh,
if that's a $60 game,
no,
then
it's not gonna be.
Yeah, my mind's gonna explode.
It's probably 80.
8,000.
Regular 8,000.
So those are the ones that are coming out that we're excited about. But the interns decided to take on some of our duties because, frankly, we do too much here, right, Dave? It's too much.
Yep.
Way too much.
Way too much.
Listen,
I'm
boys.
overworked and under-intoxicated.
And underpaid.
Always.
So we complained a little bit, and we decided the interns would give us a list of, I want to say, let's just do 3 in no particular order, 3 games that are the most deserving of a remake. 3 games that when you look at your collection on Steam or something else, you say, man, I would love to see the 2016 paint on this game. Because so many games are so great, but they just, I don't know, maybe I'm a little bit of a graphics whore, but it's hard for me to really get into it and play because it looks so bad. Thomas, intern Tom.
That's me.
What is your number 1 game that you want to remake for?
This is my number 2. I'm starting with my number 2. And it's Vampires the Masquerade Bloodlines. Now, this is a game I'm pretty sure you really love. I know I really love it.
I really do.
It was released in 2004 by Troika Entertainment, rather. And considering that it holds up pretty well, basically one of the big things about it was the character models for the time were like beyond anything you'd ever seen. But some of the gameplay was a little janky. And some of the stuff that wasn't character models was pretty janky. But it really holds up because of like the setting, which was based off of the tabletop game Vampires the Masquerade Bloodline. And I think that's like a big part of it. But I think if, like you said, they were to slap that 2016 paint on it, chrome it up, bling it out a little bit, it would be like, it would definitely be like up there holding a place in the Hall of Fame for games you can just lose yourself in. It's like this dark, gritty world. It's great.
Oh, it's like,
It's
yeah,
great.
but just listen to this music. Amp that up a little bit, would you, Nick? God, I remember walking through Santa Monica.
Yeah.
The first level of this.
It
just
has
with this
atmosphere.
music. Like, this is a game that if you haven't picked it up, you should, even without a remake. It does pacing better than most games I've ever played. From starting at nothing to being like the god vampire king.
It came out in 2004. I
Yeah.
played it for the first time earlier this year,
Yeah.
and it's now one of my favorite games. That says something.
Not only is it paced better than most games that come out now, but it has the freedom of choice and individuality better than any other game I may have ever played. You can choose to play a character in this game that every time someone talks to you, it's insane gibberish for the entire
it's really
game.
funny.
And you're an insane person, and you start talking to, street signs. So, yes, pick up the game, Vampire the Masquerade. Enough out of you, Tom. Wake up, Anton.
Hello.
What is your game that you want to have remade?
All right, so personally, one of my favorites.
It attacked me. I know what this is. Go ahead.
Jade Empire.
Oh, my God.
Right? So, one of BioWare's IPs, right? It's a game that's pretty similar to old school kung fu movies like, Young Master, Seven Grandmasters, if you're a fan of that. But you create a character and you develop a bunch of different fighting styles, whether it be martial arts, weapon styles, stuff of the sort. And you just kind of travel through this mythical version of China.
Yeah.
And you go try to save your master who has been taken, right?
Yeah.
Fantastic. It's similar to like Knights of the Old Republic, where you can choose whether to be bad or good, make decisions that will eventually affect the world and how people react to you. And it's got a fantastic storyline.
Incredible, yeah.
Great RPG, amazing combat. I'm surprised it hasn't been remade.
Yeah, it's a third-person, like, kung fu game.
Yeah.
Which I have not seen again. Like, I remember Sleeping Dogs came out a couple years ago, and that was kind of like that. But they had Sleeping Dogs, Tom, Anton.
I love
'cause of the
Sleeping Dogs.
No, because of the coma, the joke.
Oh, haha.
I thought that's why we were all at. No, it's not that.
Because I love that game.
Oh, I thought it was because of the coma reference. No, but Jade Empire, let's just forget it that was said. Jade Empire is an incredible game. A kung fu RPG. David, would you not pick that up?
The music sells me. I'm just picturing Kung Fu, that TV show.
What is this peaceful flute?
All right, speaking of peaceful flute, we got to hurry up just a little bit here. Running out of time. Your number one,
my actual
game
number one
that you need to have remade
is Morrowind. Easily Morrowind.
Easily.
Because first of all, they're already talking about remastering Skyrim, which is silly to me because Morrowind is ripe for the remastering. Because that game looks like garbage now.
What the hell is this noise?
It sounds like Lord of the Rings.
What is this peaceful flute?
Yeah, what is this noise?
I'm not even gonna lie. Morrowind looks like garbage now, which really sucks because it still plays really well and it is huge and immersive. Morrowind was like the first like RPG I ever played, and it dragged me into RPGs hard. Like it's
all right. We'll stop you there. It is no. I know exactly what the game is. Think of, if people aren't familiar, if you liked Skyrim and all games like that. If you liked Oblivion, it was just the father of Oblivion. So if you really enjoy those sorts of games, but it could do a lot more because it didn't have as much as the graphical.
2002.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention it came out in 2002.
Made by Bethesda. Incredible game. Thank you, interns. Round of applause. Don't fall asleep, folks. Dave.
Yes, sir.
Quickly. You've been listening.
Yeah.
Very patiently. Laughing
very closely.
intermittently.
Yes.
What is your most anticipated? The remake that would make you run out of here and scream goodbye forever. What would it be?
Okay, so now we're getting into the world of VR, right?
Oh.
So I think we should go back, not 65 million years, but it feels like it.
Where's Sarah and Ian? They went to the laboratory. You can find them with this detector. Look out!
Just dying raptors everywhere.
Oh my God.
Do you remember playing this game at like the local movie theater?
I remember.
Or Palladium?
Palladium.
I love Palladium. I would love to see the Lost World Jurassic Park arcade game just remade for VR. Grab a gun, start shooting the hell out of raptors, Dilophosaurus, chase a Triceratops, run away from the T-Rex, pterodactyls. I don't care. Just remake it.
That game, honestly, it could come out. They don't even change anything. They just bring it out for VR right now, and I would play that constantly. I lost, as like a 10-year-old kid, $45 in coins.
Quarters.
Yeah, because me and my friends tried to beat that, and we finally did. I was there for like 4 days. called all the papers because a lost child was there.
Jesus.
Anyways, that's our remakes.
You get your name at the top score, at the top, number 1.
ASS, because I'm Q.
And then they shut down the power and it's gone.
All right. What is your most wanted remake? Please tell us. Oh no. We're getting assaulted with music today.
This is
Peaceful
Dude,
Flute.
This is John Williams, man.
This is John Williams. Of course, if you know what this is, thank God. If you don't, shame on you. Email us your favorite remake, the remake that you want that we didn't mention, VGS at 640toronto.com, or go to our website, 640toronto.com/VGS. Send us a message, and we'll talk about it next week. We need to take a quick break. We talked a lot about remakes. Next up, we get rid of these interns. Thank you, boys. Bring in 2 more, and we're going to talk about the new Metal Gear game that is twisting a few bonnets. David?
Sure.
I leave it with you.
You're listening to VGS with Andy and Dave on Talk Radio, AM 640.
This is James Bond, right? No, not James Bond?
Sounds like it.
I think it is.
It's really close.
It is Metal Gear, folks. One of the most beloved franchises in gaming. The Metal Gear franchise has been going on almost 25 years, right? And we have some people here to argue, yell, scream, and defend, in some cases, a new game from Konami. Metal Gear Survive. It is the first time that the Metal Gear franchise is trying to make a game after Hideo Kojima, the insane mind behind a lot of these games, decided to leave, and by that he was fired from Konami. Metal Gear Survive. It's a game after Ground Zero, so it's in the universe that everyone loves in the Metal Gear franchise. Mother Base, right before Phantom Pain comes in. That was Metal Gear 5 that everyone really loved. Basically, the people on Mother Base get thrown through a wormhole. Yes, this happened. And in this new alternate reality, there's parts of buildings here. It's all alien. It looks crazy. And there's these crystal zombies that are attacking them. So you, as one of the soldiers, are teaming up with another person. There's going to be co-op, and you're fighting zombies, and people are hating it. If you look online, they are losing their minds with hate. I have some interns joining me today. One of them doesn't like it a little bit, and one of them doesn't like it a lot. We're going to start with a little bit. Liam, the intern.
Sure.
Metal Gear Survive. I say that name. What images conjures in the brain? Close your eyes.
Probably the same images that I've been seeing for the past 5-6 years of just terrible,
Darkness?
generic. That too. But just terrible, generic zombie survival games that just have worn me down. And I don't mind that it's absurd, and I don't mind that it's an alternate universe, and I don't mind that it's different, because those are all things that Metal Gear Solid has done. But I just mind that they essentially took, like, what is the worst part of Metal Gear Solid 5, where you're pretty much fending off like hordes of enemies, and they made that into an entire game. And that's what nobody asked for and what nobody enjoys. But they're like, hey, let's just
well, apparently, yeah, it is something different. It is something that has been proven to be popular. But do you think that enough, that hate, is what's fueling all of this outrage, where they're getting tens of thousands of dislikes online? People are, writing op-ed pieces about how this is destroying the franchise.
And I understand, I think fans have the right to criticize games and to get upset when they see something that looks like a flaming trash. But I think that this is kind of blown out of proportion, and people are who are getting just absolutely starting riots over it are a little bit off base. Maybe.
Speaking of a little bit off base, Rich the intern
That's me.
is here. You are in the camp that is really hating this,
really
correct?
Hating
is that fair?
Yeah,
That's fair.
It's fair
to paint you as that. So we've talked about this off air. I've beaten you down until you've told me exactly why this upsets you, because I mentioned the name and you start to cringe. Why, honestly, talking to me, why Why does this upset you so much?
I've grown up with these games.
Yeah.
This series is, like you said, like 25 years old almost. And I've grown up with them from little baby Richard playing Metal Gear Solid 1 on his PlayStation.
That's not appropriate.
On his PlayStation, to now playing Metal Gear Solid 5 still every so often I pick it up just because it's so well put together on controls and everything. I feel the game is going to lack a lot of heart, a lot of soul of what made Metal Gear. That stealth, that espionage, the humanity behind fighting a man in a spacesuit who came and wanted to burn the world down after he went to space the first time. It's this supernatural mixed with this humanity. And
so it's a big important game to you, and the reason that you don't think it's so important and it won't follow those themes is because they had some crazy trailer?
It goes deeper than that.
But that's all we know. We know that there's a crazy trailer. We know that's all there is, and that Hideo isn't a part of it. Why are you so sure that it's going to be so bad?
There's something to be said for spin-offs of a series where they've tried it before in Konami. Look at the Castlevania series, which I'm also a major fan of. The Legacy, or not the Legacy of Darkness, the last 2 games in the series were complete bombs, awful, didn't play well, didn't sell well, didn't do well. And I'm completely distraught by that. I think this not only comes from me as a Metal Gear fan, but as a fan of Konami games as a whole, that this has just been breaking me down for the last couple years, and it's finally coming to a head on a game in a series that I love and adore.
I still don't get it. Dave, do you get it?
I have no idea, man.
Like, you see the game, it looks like it's bad, but people are freaking out.
Just wait till the other trailer, man.
I know. Calm down, Rich. Calm down.
I'm trying.
Liam, calm him down. All right.
Well, I'm cool.
Next up, we got Jean-Francois, game director, Deus Ex, Mankind Divided, talking all about the new game coming out on Tuesday. You don't want to miss it. Thanks again to the interns for taking part. Really appreciate it. We'll be back right after this short break.
You're listening to VGS with Andy and Dave on Talk Radio AM 640.
One of our favorite game franchises here that has been our favorite for almost decades is the Deus Ex series. They provided an alternative to the traditional RPGs that really wasn't there yet. We got to see a revamp of that with the previous Deus Ex. Now the new game is coming out very, very soon this year, Deus Ex Mankind Divided, and I'm speaking with Jean-Francois, the game director of Deus Ex. He's taken some time to chat with me. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
So just to introduce people to the game, you know, the elevator pitch, if you were, what are the Deus Ex games all about?
Well, it's an action RPG series in which you play the role of someone that unravel worldwide conspiracies, and it's a game that is all about choices and consequences.
And this time around, we are going to be given that sense of choice in a really big way. Speaking with the main lead actor, he talked about a lot on this show before. How does the role of choice really work in this dystopian universe?
Well, what we always try to do, like I was just saying with the elevator pitch, like choice and consequence is a big part of the game. No matter what subject we're exploring, what is really important to us is to put the player in the middle of all these challenges and those moral decisions and whatnot, and letting the player really experiment with the game. So what is really, really important is to feel that when you do something that the world reacts to what you just did. And then we live by that. So it can go from talking with someone, and depending on how you deal with the person you're talking to, and it will affect how that person reacts back to you. Or if you go and you try to meet someone, confront someone, and you have to deal with, let's say, the people protecting that person, if you didn't kill anyone or you did kill people, like you will have this person when you meet that person, she's going to react to you in a different way. Or it can also be with, let's say, you meet someone and someone proposes you a deal and you shake hands with that person or not. And depending on if you do it or you don't do it, it's going to change a lot of beats during the adventure and whatnot. So for us, it's really a question of making sure that as much as we can, like giving you feedback and giving you some consequences to about everything you do.
Like you said there, the idea of consequence is very, very important when it comes to these games. The circumstance that you just talked about, whether or not you kill any of the characters and meet your targets, how do you make that impact affect the story more than maybe one or two different dialogue branches at the beginning, and then it's exactly the same regardless? Because you see that a lot in games where they give you some choice and there's a quick, oh, cool, this guy knows what I did. But wait a second, it's exactly the same, series of responses. So what are you guys doing, I guess, to stand out in terms of that?
Well, it depends, because we have different level of choices with different level of consequences. And of course, we have some consequences that are just to give flavor, like the world is reacting, is acknowledging what you just did, right? So it's still part of it, and sometimes it doesn't go beyond that, I think. But nevertheless, it's important, even though it's very shallow in a way, because it makes the game, like the game knows what you did and it talks back to you, so it reflects more on your personal choices, and therefore you have a more intimate relationship with the game. But that is just one level. Like if all the choices would be like that, I agree with you. It would be like, okay, cool, but in the end, it doesn't change much, right? So it's it's not a striking balance, but it's trying to hit the right balance to have like those more flavor-esque choices with consequences, and the ones where it's going to lead you into other territories that or not, depending on how you dealt with certain situation. So when it comes to that, our goal is always we're always looking at the challenges that the player is going to face and what kind of encounters is going to have and everything. And we're looking, what if the player does this and he wants to do that? Okay, so what would be the consequences to that or to that? And then we just brainstorm and we go on. And we have some of the choices in the game they can class it's something that you can do early on in the game, and you can be almost towards the end of the game and still living the repercussions of the early choices. So what we do to ensure that it's not shallow, it's some of the choices, we really fully explore them, the ones that are going to have a ramification on the direct story or in parallel with the main story, affecting the main story at the same time. And one of the way we achieve that is that all our choices are custom built, in the sense that we're not doing it from a systemic approach. Of course, we do it from a systemic approach in terms of do you play stealth? Do you play combat? Yeah. And it's going to react like this, like that. We have that. But in terms of narrative, to make them more meaningful, to craft them in a way that it can have very interesting effects, we're really fleshing those choices out. I would say by hand, we're not just doing, it's a system, it's trying to be a simulation of this and that, and then it pans out consequences. We're not doing that. I mean, depending which kind of game you're making, that kind of approach would make sense. But with the Deus Ex experience, that is not totally open experience, but it's not totally a linear experience. We're kind of in between.
Sounds like a great way for me to play with these systems that I love so much. Jean-Francois, thank you so much for taking the time.
My pleasure. Have a good day.
This is Andy Burkowski, VGS Talk Radio, AM 640.
This is VGS with Andy and Dave on Talk Radio, AM 640.
Big thanks again to Jean-Francois, the game director on Deus Ex Mankind Divided. Remakes are in our hearts this week on VGS. Let's go through the list. We got some interns to thank. Thomas, thank you for sharing your Morrowind love. I did not finish, damn it.
You're welcome.
Anton, thanks for staying up. We appreciate it.
No problems. I got you.
Talking about Jade Empires. You got that one?
Yeah.
Okay. And Richard, thank you for being the punching bag to talk Metal Gear.
Stay salty, my friends.
Oh,
and thanks, Liam.
Huge thanks to Liam.
His Goku t-shirt.
Yeah, he had to leave. But and of course, thanks to you, Dave.
Well, thank you, too, for being here.
Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being a friend.
See you next week.
Without a doubt, the worst episode ever. Rest assured that